Welcome to Anza-Borrego Desert State Park. My name is Dennis. I'm a regional interpretive specialist and the district interpretive specialist for the Colorado Desert District. The Colorado Desert District is very diverse in biodiversity. It starts down here in Anza-Borrego Desert State Park, which is the low desert, and goes up and includes Palomar Mountain State Park and Cuyamaca Rancho State Park, which are mountain parks with montane biodiversity. I'd like to introduce Sally Terrio here at Anza-Borrego Desert State Park.
Thanks, Dennis. Yes, I'm Sally. I am one of the interpreters who works here at Anza-Borrego. I work at the visitor center, and we are standing in one corner of the visitor center garden here by the Pupfish Pond.
Sally, why don't you tell us a little bit about the Pupfish Pond and what we might see around a Pupfish Pond like this?
Yeah, lots of people come to the park and they ask about seeing wildlife and where to go to see wildlife. And so one of the things I like to tell them is anywhere that there's water is a good place. And right here at the visitor center, we do have a year-round source of water in the Pupfish Pond. It was created to provide habitat for the endangered pupfish. But of course, it also provides water for all kinds of things. We've seen jackrabbits already this morning. Cottontails will come visit the pond. We've seen a turkey actually show up at the pond, a wild turkey. Bobcats, coyotes. We know there have been bighorn sheep here before because we've seen their droppings. And of course, lots of birds come to the pond and to the palm trees that grow here.
Speaking of the palm trees, I understand that the palm trees themselves have a lot of biodiversity in them.
They do. They provide a lot of habitat. They produce fruit that lots of birds come to eat. Various different species of birds will nest in the palms. We have, in this set of palms, we've had roadrunners, we've had kestrels. I think the kestrels had two batches, two nest groupings. Bluebirds come seasonally. In those big skirts, rodents will live as well as birds. We've had owls in here before, as well as in some of the other trees. Doves, of course. Ravens will sit up there and squawk.
Nice. Now, we're here in the low part of Anza-Borrego Desert State Park, but my understanding is Anza-Borrego Desert State Park has a wide range of ecosystems and environments.
Yeah, we do. We're a huge park, and our elevations range from a little bit below sea level out in the Badlands all the way up into the mountains at about 6,000 feet. But lots of parts of Anza-Borrego, around 3,500 feet. Culp Valley is a primitive campground that I recommend a lot in the summer because it's a little bit cooler up there than down here. We've got some sort of middle elevation chaparral areas all the way north and south of the park. So different types of plant communities, and to some extent different animals will utilize those too. We'll see deer up in Culp Valley, bighorn sheep down lower, of course coyotes do the whole range, mountain lions up in the mountains more than down here.
So Sally, a lot of people think that the desert is barren and there's not much life in the desert. But my understanding is that's not true, is it?
That's not true, and it kind of depends on where you are. There are parts of the desert, of course, that are quite a bit more badlandish. You know, we call them the Badlands for a reason because there's not a lot of plants that survive out there. A few animals, lizards, things, kit foxes, little rodents will hang out there. But there are lots of places where there's quite a bit more different life forms. One example is canyons. Is it better if I point this way? One example is some of our western canyons. It's a relatively young mountain range, has lots of cracks in it, and water comes to the surface. So in some of these western canyons like Palm Canyon, like Coyote Canyon, we have year-round water. And year-round water means lots more plants can survive. Palms, even some cottonwoods and sycamores are in some of these canyons. So we have a wider range of bird life visiting. All kinds of mammals will come for water, lizards, rodents, things like that. And so people taking a hike on the Palm Canyon Trail, for instance, will see or have a chance of seeing a wide variety of plants, a wide variety of animals. Even some of the washes out in the Badlands will be home to some of our big desert trees, smoke trees, ironwoods, palo verdes, things like that, that do provide habitat for birds, shade. Those big trees are able to send down long, deep tap roots to go in and gather some of the water that's in the bottom of those sandy washes.
So Sally, speaking of birds, my understanding is that each year there's a bird that comes through Borrego Springs. Can you tell us about that?
Yes, the Swainson's hawk annual migration. Swainson's hawk is a bird that migrates every year all the way from South America to more northern nesting territory. And one of its stopovers, we discovered a few years ago, is right here in Borrego Springs. So they come up in the evening, they roost, they feed in the morning, they overnight, and then they take off up Coyote Canyon for their next stopping place on their northward migration. So it's quite something to see. Birders come from all over. Even non-birders are excited to get up in the morning and for the chance to see maybe 1,000 birds all lift up from the ground and circle and take off north. It's quite the interesting sight.
Nice. So I guess protecting the biodiversity of this area is really important to the wildlife.
It's important to all kinds of wildlife. Yeah, I mean, obviously we're important to the Swainson's hawks. Definitely important to bighorn sheep. We provide excellent habitat for them, as well as a lot of the lizards we don't think about so much. And of course all the jackrabbits and cottontails and roadrunners, you know, all kinds of things really depend on wild desert habitat to stay healthy.
So thank you for giving us a tour of the Anza-Borrego Desert Visitor Center Garden, Sally.
You're welcome, and I want to thank people for tuning in and encourage people to come visit Anza-Borrego. Either the high elevations right now or once we cool down a little bit, to come see all of the wide range of habitats that Anza-Borrego has to offer. Our main visitor center season is November through April, when the temperatures are a little bit milder.
The Parks of the Colorado Desert District would like to wish you a Happy Biodiversity Day from Anza-Borrego Desert State Park.
Happy Biodiversity Days from Palomar Mountain State Park.
Happy Biodiversity Day from Cuyamaca Rancho State Park.